Hey friends, how's it going? Today I wanted to share a little story about why I quit coffee for an entire year and replaced it with matcha. If you've ever done even a little research on matcha, you'll know it's packed with health benefits, antioxidants, better focus, and even more of a stable energy boost compared to coffee. And while all of this may be true, I really wanted to test those claims for myself and see how matcha would impact my daily life. Along the way, I discovered some unexpected lessons that I learned, and I'm excited to share that with you today. Let's start with what went well. One of the first things that I noticed was the way matcha's caffeine hits you is completely different from coffee. Instead of that instant jolt of energy and following like a crash, matcha's caffeine is released more slowly. It gives you this like steady, even boost of energy that lasts longer, and honestly, that was like kind of a game changer for me. Another benefit was this like lower overall caffeine intake. Before, I always drank a double espresso in the morning and sometimes additional shots or cups of coffee in the afternoon. With matcha, I was drinking the same amount of like liquid in volume, but with much less caffeine. And to my surprise, I realized that I didn't even need as much caffeine to feel the same way or like better. Overall, the way matcha like helps with your energy and like your energy levels throughout the day really just helped me all around in a lot of different ways. And matcha is also packed with health benefits. Anti-inflammatory properties, antioxidants, all of that good stuff, right? But to be honest, I didn't really notice those effects directly, but it's like nice knowing that they're working in the background, right? It's like taking your vitamins. But here's something that I did notice, and I wasn't really expecting it, but my bad breath went away. I'm sure you guys know, but coffee can leave you with this coffee breath. Turns out I had it pretty badly, and one day my wife told me, your breath is so much better now. And honestly, I'll probably continue this like challenge in some form just to keep my wife happy at the end of the day. So yeah, those are some of the things that went well, like obvious things. But let's talk about some of the things that didn't go so well. One of the biggest things that I noticed was how socially ingrained coffee is in our culture. Coffee isn't just a drink, it's a ritual and a way for people to connect. I often ran into a situation where someone would just say, hey, let's catch up over coffee. And during these like meetups, like I couldn't really fully like join in. Sure, a lot of coffee shops these days offer matcha, and especially here in the Bay Area, but outside of that, not so much. A perfect example was when I went on vacation to Cabo. There was no matcha options anywhere. Luckily, I had planned ahead and brought some single-serve matcha packets, but it still wasn't ideal. Every morning, I had to mix my matcha with just a cold water in a bottle, with no honey, no milk, just plain bitter matcha. It got me through the day, but it definitely felt like more of a chore compared to like simply just a pleasure of grabbing a nice cup of coffee. This inconvenience, like minor inconvenience, I guess, kept coming up actually. When I visited Korea, I felt it even more. Korea has such a huge coffee culture with so many artisan coffee boutiques. Every time I visited these like really cool coffee shops, I wanted to try their coffee, their specialty coffee drinks. There's really just something special about sitting in like a new place, ordering like their most popular coffee drinks and just, sipping it and watching people. But instead, I had to switch to matcha. Now, to be fair, I did find some really cool matcha spots when I was in Korea. Like, there was a place called Super Matcha, where a robot arm made and served the matcha drinks. But matcha just isn't that widely available as coffee. And that gap became really noticeable, especially on vacation. Then there's also this issue of preparation. I ended up making my own matcha a lot more than I ever made coffee. I don't know if that's a con, but like in terms of convenience, it's definitely a con. I guess in terms of like price, it's better. But with coffee, if I was ever feeling lazy, I could step outside and grab a cup, anywhere. But with matcha, most places didn't prepare it the way I liked. For example, like Starbucks sweetens their matcha powder by default. You can't even get it like non-sweet basically. I prefer my matcha with just a little bit of honey and not very sweet at all. So I ended up just making it at home most of the time. At first I tried to like do the whole traditional preparation using like the ceremony bowls and whisks, like the bamboo whisk and stuff, but doing that every day kind of became a chore. You know, cleaning the tools, whisking it like just right, it just was like way too much effort. Coffee is just easier. You can toss some grounds in a drip machine, or you know, make an espresso. Like there's espresso capsules. There's just like so many more options in my opinion for like good coffee, and different styles too. I mean, matcha has like, you know, stuff too, but it just isn't the same. Eventually, because of like laziness, I guess, I switched to just single serve matcha packets. I just whisk one up with milk and honey, or shake it in a bottle and put some milk. And most of the time I just drank it cold, because heating it up felt like one more step that I didn't really want to deal with. And finally, there's also this like smell and taste of like coffee. There's just nothing like a really nice freshly brewed coffee. It's like warm, rich, and comforting. You know, matcha has its own unique flavor and scent, but it just simply doesn't compare to coffee. And to be honest, I've been really missing it in this last like few months, especially now that it's so close to the new year and my challenge is almost up. I've been really looking forward to drinking my coffee. So what's next, and was it worth it? Honestly, I think it was. Quitting coffee for a whole year taught me a lot about not just matcha, but about my habits. I realized that I don't need coffee to function, and matcha gave me just like a healthier relationship with caffeine, because before I was just drinking way too much caffeine. And looking back, this challenge I think was much more about my discipline as it was about caffeine or coffee or anything. It just pushed me to try something new and stick with it and learn from the process. And honestly, I recommend this challenge to anyone, even if it's just for a month, to see what you learn about yourself. So would I do it again? Probably not for an entire year, but I'm really glad I did it this time. And now that I can confidently say that both matcha and coffee have a place in my life. But yeah, it's the end of the new year, so I'm thinking about a few more new year-long challenges for next year. I think I might quit alcohol just to see. That might be another big thing, but anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and my journey. And if you like these kind of challenge videos, check out this one. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. And I'll see you guys next time.